Proverbs 29:18 says, "Where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction." The word revelation here can also be translated as vision from God. And casting off restraint can best be looked at as doing whatever we want, regardless of the consequences to ourselves or to others. We know that never ends well. So today, we are talking about not letting go of our vision or the things that we are receiving from God. God has a plan for each of our lives, one that will help you and me see what is truly important. That plan is called a vision. Otherwise, things get blurred and we end up not knowing where we're supposed to go. Athletes focus on one thing only: winning. And to do so, they sacrifice relationships, pastimes, and pleasures to get where they are going. In The Message, Eugene Peterson describes vision this way: if people can't see what God is doing, they stumble all over themselves. But when they attend to what He reveals, they are most blessed. It's hard to see what God is doing if we aren't spending any time with Him. But when God gives us a vision, we begin to see things the way He sees them. We are reminded in Hebrews 11, verses 24 through 27, that Moses saw the promised land while everybody around him saw only wilderness and wanted to give up and return to Egypt. In Moses' biography for God's Hall of Fame, we read these verses. By faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated along with the people of God, rather than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. He regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as of greater value than the treasures of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward. By faith, he left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He persevered because he saw Him who is invisible. Moses understood that he would get to the promised land on God's schedule, according to God's plan, one step at a time. Now, sometimes our vision can feel overwhelming, and that's when you break it down into small steps and you visualize yourself taking the next step. You'll be surprised at your progress as you go, but until you take the first step, a vision is just a daydream. A British clergyman named Frederick Landbridge wrote, "Two men looked out from prison bars. One saw mud, the other stars." What do you see in your future? Do you think God is just going to drop success into your lap? No. We must energize our vision with faith and give it momentum through hard work. There's a young lady in our community who was moved by the Spirit of God to start a vacation Bible school program for children in her neighborhood. No church, no finances, just a revelation from God. She started with 4 children in her garage. Each year, her VBS has grown until last year, she had 20 children. This year, that young lady, Grace Smith, now a high school senior, moved her VBS to the church because she was out of room. And this summer, 77 children were immersed in the Word of God and led by a team of 34 youth volunteers that Grace put together. We are so thankful for the courage and the persistence that Grace has shown in following the vision that God has placed in her. And you'll be hearing a lot more from her in the future. Now in Luke chapter 5, verses 1 through 6, we read, "One day as Jesus was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, the people were crowding around him and listening to the word of God. He saw at the water's edge 2 boats left there by the fishermen who were washing their nets. He got into one of the boats, the one belonging to Simon, and asked him to put out a little from shore. Then he sat down and he taught the people from the boat. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, 'Put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch." Simon answered, "Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets." And when they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. So they signaled their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both boats so full that they began to sink. You see, after working all night and catching no fish, Jesus told his disciples, launch out into the deep. What they had seen, their current situation, didn't offer much help, but God has a plan. And when they obeyed, they caught their biggest catch ever. Maybe your situation and your current circumstances don't look promising right now. But remember, the world doesn't control your supply. God does. Follow where he leads. And that's the word for you today. We look forward to having you join us for worship this Sunday morning at the Village Church. Our services are at 9 and 11 a.m. And if you're not feeling well or you're unable to join us in person, please join us on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel at the Village Church at World Golf Village. Senior adults, our Primetimers group is having a potluck luncheon today at noon. Bring your favorite fall food and your ideas for things to do over the next 12 months. For all you ladies, a new 7-week Bible study based on Lisa Harper's book, How Much More? Discovering God's Extravagant Love in Unexpected Places, will begin on October the 4th. The group will meet on Tuesday mornings from 10 to 11:30 a.m. at the church. The cost is $17 for the book, and for more information you can contact Barbara Fitopoulos or the church office. Finally, we are joining forces with our friends in the Tokoi Creek High School football family for a fall festival on Friday, October the 21st. There will be food, music, games, and activities from 5 until 7:30, and then there's going to be a movie on the grounds at 7:30 p.m. The cost is $5 per person, and all the proceeds will go to the Tokoi Creek football program. We hope you'll join us. Have a great weekend, church. I love you.